Hello and welcome to another beautiful day here in sunny Nova Scotia, and welcome to my channel, The Optimistic Gardener. My name is Steve Farley. Well, we're well into autumn, fall now. I've got lots of my autumn crops in already. I've got broccoli and spinach, and I've even got some autumn peas in at the moment. And my tomatoes are starting to go over now, and thinking about closing lots of things up for winter. But that also means it's time to plant garlic. Now, you normally want to be planting garlic at the end of September, start of October time, or middle of October, normally about 30 days before your first frosts. And garlic is one of the plants that needs a bit of frost to get it growing properly. So what we actually want to be doing, we want to be planting garlic just before the frosts, get them in, allow them to establish their roots, a bit of their roots, etc. Get them going a little bit, and then they want the frosts, and that allows them to go dormant, and that allows the clove, and it triggers it into wanting to produce an actual clove of garlic, rather than if you planted this, say, in March or April time, then this would grow, but it would probably not grow any more cloves and turn itself into the bulb that we have here. So we want to be planting it at this time of year, so we can establish its roots, and then have a bit of a sleep, and then get amongst it next spring, and then we'll be harvesting sort of in the summertime. So there are a couple of different types of garlic. You've got soft-neck garlic and hard-neck garlic. Soft-neck you'll be growing in zones 5 to 10, and hard-neck, like I have here, as you can see, it's got a hard neck. That can be grown in the more colder zones, so that's zones 3 to 10. So we're in zone 6, I think, here. So I'll be growing exclusively hard-necked garlic. Takes a bit longer to grow, but it also has that added bonus of garlic scapes, that pre-flower shoot that comes up in the late springtime, early summer, and which you can also harvest that. So that's like a bonus crop for your garlic. I've got two types of garlic here. I've got this one. This is called Music. I've never grown any of these before. So this is a normal mildish garlic, and I've got this one here picked up at a garlic festival, Red Russian, and this is supposed to be a bit of a stronger one. So I'm looking forward to trying these next year. So what do we want to do? So I've prepared this bed here. One thing we don't want to do is we don't want to be growing our garlic in a bed that you've had onions in before. So garlic is part of, and onions are all part of the allium family. So that crop rotation thing, you don't want to be growing the same crops one after another in the same bed. So that prevents build up of pests and diseases in that bed. So this bed here, I had tomatoes and cucumbers in this year, so that's okay. And I've amended the soil. I've added some nice new compost, so that's beautiful stuff there. That should allow it to give it the nutrition. It wants lots of nice nutrition in there. So all I've done is I've just added the compost to the top of the actual existing soil. I try to not move the soil about too much nowadays. I'm trying the no dig philosophy of gardening, where all you're doing is putting the compost on top of old compost and allowing all the different fungi, etc., in the soil to lay undisturbed and help your plants throughout the growing season. So that's that. So I've added a good amount of compost, and you can see that it's lovely stuff there. And then once I've planted the garlic, I'm going to add a mulch to protect it over the winter. And this mulch is my favourite seaweed. I'm lucky enough to live by the beach, so I'm using seaweed. You can use any mulch, some more garden compost, some leaf mould, anything like that would be good, and that will give it a protection over the winter. And then the added bonus of, as it starts to break down, that will help the garlic as well, and the soil. especially my seaweed, when that breaks down, lots of lovely nutrients will be running down into the soil over the winter. So that's excellent. Right, so what do we want to do when we're planting the garlic? So normally you want to be planting, so obviously we're going to take the bulbs and we're going to break them up into, oh, this is a tough old one, into clothes, and then you've got a top bit, the pointy bit, and the bottom bit, the flat bit with the knobbly bit on the end. So that's the bottom. We normally want to be planting these about 3 inches down into the soil, and around 6 inches apart is the recommended way of planting the garlic. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a bit of a trial this year. I'm going to try, I was watching the MI Gardener, and he plants his in a staggered fashion, which I'll show you in a minute, and he only plants them about 2 inches apart. Well, I'm not going to go to that extreme. I'm going to go to about 4 inches apart, so 3 inches down and a sort of about a hand's width apart, really, which is what I'm going to try. So here we go. So we want to keep them separate to make sure we know what's what. So this is the music. So as I said, I'm going to just push it down into the soil, about 3 inches down, and then sort of hand width apart. Into the soil there, and then as I said, so there's the two bulbs there. I'm going to plant it in a staggered fashion, so I'm going to plant this second one in the middle of the first two. So you've got the first two there, like that, and I'm going to plant this third one in the middle here. Again, 3 inches down. So I'm going to try this all the way along. So again, about 4 inches apart, nice and down. I'm going to go down these rows, and then I'll come back to you in a minute to see what we're going to do afterwards. Okay, so that's the all the garlic planted, red Russian that side, and music this side. Now, in case I didn't explain myself correctly with the staggering of the garlic, so I've literally planted 1, 2, 3, 4, say along there, and then the next row planted in the middle. So 1, 2, 3. So each row is staggered, and you can get more garlic in them because obviously there's that same gap, like a triangle, all the way along, and you can get just that few extra. And I've got about 60 or 70 garlic in there altogether. So let me put some mulch down, and then we'll have a last little finish up talk and see where we go from there. Okay, that's the mulch down. So I've got a good couple of inches there of seaweed. This is fresh from the beach just yesterday. There's even a few sand fleas in there still jumping around. So the mulch, this is a really important part of our gardening admin, for want of a better phrase. This is going to be the continental quilt for the garlic over the winter. Like I said, they're going to have a little bed their roots down now, hopefully, grow a few little roots. Then when the frosts come and the cold starts to get in there, they're going to go to sleep, and this is going to provide that extra protection, a layer of protection over the soil during the winter months. And then obviously as well, it's really good, especially this because this is seaweed, but it could be a good layer of compost on top. It's going to break down a little bit over the winter, and then start to release its nutrients into the soil to help the garlic in the summer growing months ahead. So I'm pleased with that. 60 or 70 garlic hopefully next year, trialling that red Russian and the music, so we'll see what they're like. Job's a good one.